Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a couple weeks since I posted a video. I have had a cold and we were busy with birthday things and Halloween, and October was just pretty crazy. So now we're into November and we're going to look at April today in my Hobonichi cousin. So I'm going to flip to April. I'm going to do my tabs different in 2026 because right now I think I did it so that it would open to like the first of the month, but I want it to actually open to the cover page. So anyway, that's for another video. April, I did the ransom note cutouts again, or lettering, and then I had this cute little bird. I think I found him on Canva and made my own sticker or cutout for that. So I just like how he looks for spring, perched on top of April. And then Milo had his tube surgery on April 1st, like first thing in the morning. He was a trooper, a little cutie in his hospital gown, but he also took over my Spotify, so I hadn't figured out quite how to, like, I think you can turn off songs or playlists from adding to your taste profile, so I didn't want my wrap up to be completely super simple songs. I'm not using Spotify anymore, so not really an issue with the Spotify Wrapped, but he still loves his music so much. And then I went to Cleveland Clinic and Trader Joe's. I think Milo was with me just to make sure he was feeling well from his tube surgery. So he came with me and they gave him some stickers, and I, of course, took some for myself. So I actually used colored pencil, which I haven't really used too much of. And used that to, I made an outline with a Tombow, or I'm sorry, with a, with a Tombow, just the fine point side, and then did an outline and then colored it in and put my stickers on. I think I had a receipt here originally, but it wasn't a copy of it, so it started to erase itself, so I took it out and then just kind of fixed it up. And then I think I was back journaling a lot in April. There just wasn't a lot going on. So I saw this quote on Instagram: "You deserve a break. Stop healing. Choose violence. Go batshit insane. Do it for the plot." And at that point, it felt relevant. Doodled some nature and then used colored pencil, and then I think I got the Sharpie creative markers, so I used that for the clouds. I tried to, because I didn't really like how this black looked, I tried to use a creative marker on the lettering, and I only did the U because I didn't like it either. So that was just a fun little random page. And then this one was also a little random. I'd been seeing these washi quilts, or people using like their different washi tapes to make like picture frames, like you frame the washi, like you would draw a frame or print a frame and then put the washi in it. So I decided to use some of my favorites and some of just ones that would give it a little bit of a different look to it to make a patchwork quilt. This took a long time, but I really love it. I think it's really fun. And then I didn't just want the quilt, so I drew a little person, kind of me, and then just wrote "so happy for the weekend" because this was on a Friday. Some of my days are just gathering pictures of what we take of Milo, so I loved his little pretzel outfit, and then we took him outside. He was really loving going outside and throwing rocks down the drains, and we had water behind our apartment at that point, so he liked looking at the pond, and it was getting warmer, so we were able to go out without coats. And then this page, I hate this page so much. Every time I look at it, I hate it. It originally started, I think it was raining. You can see this drawing here at the top. I think I had made Like similar how I do like the blobs and stuff. Let me find one without Milo. So similar to how I've done shapes and blobs for just kind of bullet pointed notes, I think I did gray raindrops, but or it was because I was sad and they were teardrops. I don't even remember, but I outlined them in purple and I think I wrote in purple ink and I just did not like it. And so I decided that I would just collage on top of it. So I chose this paper, which I just don't like the pattern. I don't like the colors. It's just not very me. And then I put, I think, this big sticker. I had this one for a long time. This was a freebie sticker I got from Milk Cosmetics when I bought a lippy one time. And I just did not like it. So then I just kept adding to it. I used some some stickers that I just probably wouldn't use, like these Create, Sparkle, Grow, Shine, Thrive, Rise stickers. And then I tried to like add some more. I don't like it. I love this sticker. Don't like the rest of it, but I think I like it more than what was underneath of it. So, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. And then my husband plays music. He was working with one of his old bands, and they had band practice. So Milo and I were home for the afternoon. So he put on my glasses, and then I let him play with some dry pasta and just like work on stirring and scooping and pouring. So we did that for a little bit. I think we played with water too in the kitchen. I think I was making dinner or something while he was doing all that. So we had a fun little Milo Mama day. On the 8th, I saw this quote on TikTok and it was like, do I want another baby or do I just want to hold my baby as a newborn again? So I just wrote a little bit about that. I was like, it's a valid question. He's really fun, but I do miss just like the snuggles and the simpleness of like holding a newborn and how, snuggly and sleepy they are. This is just kind of talking about things that I will miss and things that I like right now in the stage that we were in April. Like putting him to sleep, he would let me kind of hold him and he'd rub my hands or rub my back. He honked my nose. He was starting to do that because one of our songs said honk your nose. Or he'd get like right in my face and he'd just wave at me and we would be in the dark, complete dark, and he'd just go, hi. So very fun. Missed that stage. We're kind of out of that stage now as he has, turned 2. But he's still my sweet little funny boy. And I just love every single stage I get to experience with him. April 9th was another day I didn't have anything. So I have this, I think I showed it in another video. It's right here actually. This antiquarian sticker book. And it'll just have like really big stickers and old school stickers. So I like this every now and then. I picked out just this lady reading. It was you couldn't even really tell what the sticker was because it was on like the whole page is this pattern. So I picked that and then picked just a yellow floral washi and just did a little collage piece there. So pretty simple. On the 10th, I did a craft night. I taught some elementary school kids how to make clay earrings. One of my former coworkers asked me to come to her work at an elementary school and do that. So it was really cool. I had started making some clay earrings during 2020. Had been a long time since I did it. And to kind of simplify it, we just used like air dry clay, but it was really fun. I drew an egg because I made some little egg earrings that I actually added backs to and can wear them. But I was using some new art supplies. So I got these paint markers. They're like kind of like a pastel stick, but they're called, I don't even know what they are, if they're tempera sticks. But I bought them for Milo to use, and I bought them for myself because I wanted to see them. They're cool. They really like, this is solid, like it's not moving, it's not really spreading or anything. So it was a neat art supply to use, and Milo's liked it. Spreads a lot of color. They're very bright colors. So I really liked those. The other supply were these gel pens. These are I think it's Pentel Matte Hop. And I've seen people really like them. I did not. This wrote well. It didn't work well when I didn't think it was juicy enough. But then it was too juicy in other parts. So like it didn't work well for my outline, and then it was way too thick for my writing. And I wasn't super impressed. Like people were raving about them. I've still seen people really like them. And just personally, I didn't. I also didn't like how the pen felt in my hand. I'm a very like that'll make or break a pen for me. And it was super thin. Like I feel like it was thinner than like a mechanical pencil. Which like this doesn't bother me, but for a pen or something, it just didn't work for me. So I actually returned them, and I'm not mad about it. On the 11th, I got my snail mail. I'm part of the Happy Olive Studio Mail Club, and I have been for, I think I maybe had a month before that, month or two before April. But this was one of my favorite things that she sent out, and they just get better and better. I love being a part of this mail club. But she always sends a note. Amy always sends a note, and you get like a note from her, a full sticker sheet, several die cut stickers, and like a postcard usually. So this one was farmer's market themed. It had little vegetables. So this was part of the envelope, and then this was the letter that she sent. So, but I said I don't even want to spare one sticker. They were that good. So on Saturday, we went to the library. Milo discovered there were big stairs there, so he had fun climbing up them. On the 13th, I did some blobs. Sundays usually just our errand day, grocery shopping, laundry, cleaning up, those kind of things. So we went grocery shopping at Walmart and Aldi. It was a rough weekend. I'm not ready for the week. Got some new clothes at Old Navy. We got some lawn decorations at Dollar Tree. I think we bought some pinwheels, flower pinwheels that Milo had in the front of the house. He really liked looking at them blow in the wind. Matt and I finished watching Ted Lasso season 1. I made sausage biscuits, but they were kind of meh. And then I wasn't feeling great that evening. On April 14th, I actually started going to pelvic floor therapy. It went well, but it was weird. And then the office that I go to, they started charging for, well, I think they've always charged for their ticketing, but they got rid of their in-person ticket booth, and so they got like an automated ticket booth, and you pay inside, but it's just not, as a millennial, easy for me to figure out. For some of the older people who go there, it just was not very easy for them to learn. But they also are so impatient. And all they did was complain in line, and I had to like they didn't understand like how to get a receipt. They didn't understand why it was taking so long, or why they would even make them do these kind of things. So it was kind of funny to listen to. But so I just tore my parking ticket and wrote about that experience. Milo, they sent us this picture on the 15th of Milo at school. He just had this expression that reminded me of this picture of me when I was a little girl. So I wrote, I don't know where his attitude came from at all. And then Matt, because it was Tuesday, Matt was home with him. And in the evening before I got home, and he took him outside, and he always takes great pictures of him running. On Wednesday the 16th, I had this idea for a Things I Learned Today spread, and then when I went to make this spread, the only thing I could think of to write was what an axiom is. And that is because I was reading A Little Life, I believe, and that was part of it. And then I wrote that I definitely had more things to add to this list until I went to write them down. So if I ever want to do this again, I need a post-it note, but it was not a very good good idea after I put it on paper. On the 17th, I went to a event at school called the Elsas. It's for clubs. They do awards, and one of the awards is for Best Advisor. I advise one club, and then I co-advise another, and I was nominated with the co-advisor for our club that we advise, but I did not win Best Advisor. So that was kind of sad, but one of my coworkers did. And then they had some Chinese food there, so I had a fortune cookie, and it just says, "Your success will be a beacon of light." So I thought maybe that was a good fortune to get before the awards. I thought maybe I would win, but I didn't. So I just did this kind of like collage. I wrote something here, had a line, and I just covered it up. I used the inside of a security envelope, some washi tape, and the chopsticks holder. So, and then on the 18th, we looked at a house. It checked most of our boxes. We liked it, so we made an offer. So this was the second house we ever made an offer on, and it was just a waiting game. So I just made like a manifesting page. I'm not sure why I went with bugs, but I like them. I like this spread. It's pretty simple, but I like it. On the 19th and the 20th that weekend, we celebrated Easter with our families. We went over to my in-laws and hung out with my sister-in-law and her girls. So Milo got to spend time with his cousins. He got dressed up in his cute little Easter button-up, and we got some Easter baskets with them. And then on Sunday, we went to brunch with my mom, dad, and brother. Milo did pretty well. It was like a buffet style. We all had these water glasses on our table, and he really liked them. He didn't have water in it, but he was holding it, and it says he did drop this glass on the table and floor. And this was cool. I got to see one of my old students that I used to supervise. It was really nice to see him. His family kind of lives nearby to where mine are, and he lives states away. So it was really cool. And it was really cool that he came over and said hi to me and recognized me. So I liked that. That was a great experience. And then across the bottom, I used some of Milo's Easter stickers that he got from my mom, just to make a little kind of rainbow border. So I just had the pictures here first and the stickers and washi tape, and then I decided to add some writing, and I like this double spread for it. On the 21st, I used my blobs again. My club was celebrating Pride Week this week. Our school celebrates Pride Week or Pride in April as opposed to June because school's not in session. So my club does some events for that during April. Busy day at work, but I didn't really feel like I got a lot done. We have a tradition of having Polish sausage and eggs and Polish sweetbread for Easter and for Christmas, and so we had some of that for dinner. I made perfect dippy eggs, and then Milo was being really attached to me, and it was really hard to get anything done before going to school and to work. On the 22nd, I was inspired by the music I was listening to. So on the beginning of the day, I listened to New Slang by the Shins, which if you've ever listened to, kind of upbeat, fun little song. And then on the way home, my last song was Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is just like a totally different vibe in how they sound. So I made this road from each song and used one of Milo's car stickers and just said my music journey felt really fitting to my mood. So I was definitely in a good mood when I was going to work, and after a long day, it just it definitely fit the kind of tone of the music. On the 23rd, I was still reading A Little Life, and so I just used this book that I got off of Canva, and it says, "A Little Life is taking me forever to read, and there's never a good point to put it down at night. I'm so close." Long chapters, it just like never was a good time to put it down. And then I also put a book because I have a dream to write and illustrate a children's book. And my husband actually wants to do that too. So maybe someday we'll get that. Maybe when Milo's a little older and we have a little bit more balance to our life. And then this is a picture of Milo in his little rain suit that we took to school. And he has mud all over his mouth because he definitely is a little boy who likes to explore and try new things. So they had an outdoor little like mud kitchen and he loved playing in that. On the 24th, I finished A Little Life. I did only give it 3 stars. This was a book that I thought I was going to absolutely love and thought I was going to be an emotional wreck over. And while it was tough to read and it definitely had a lot of emotions that I was feeling, I just generally was not super interested in it. I thought that it was, a difficult subject matter, but that it also was kind of glorified. And I just didn't understand all of the trauma that was dropped on one character, and just kind of the dichotomy of what some of his relationships looked like, even with such a history of trauma, just from what my knowledge of trauma informed care and things like that look like. I just, it didn't match up, and it didn't seem realistic to me, and it definitely felt longer than it needed to be. So I can't say I'm necessarily glad that I read it. I guess I'm glad it's off my TBR, but it's not one that I'm really recommending to folks. And so I put this Animal Crossing meme that I found, and it says, "Sadness, it's the only thing I've got plenty of," which really describes that book. On April 25th, I had a nail appointment after work. This was a new nail artist for me, and I thought she did a great job. I took this inspiration of some nails that had like cream colored nails with some strawberry and floral art on it. And she did an amazing job with it. I was inspired by Amy Yall to do this hand tracing and decorate my nails. She does that for her manicures, and I did that for some of the ones now that I've been going kind of regularly to get them. So I did also just get new nails this week. So I got this kind of grayish blue color for fall, and I really, really like them. On the 26th, I taped in this card, "I will always be here to sit with you," from my best friend Ashley, who moved to Boston. She deserted me. Just kidding. But I know she's watching this at some point. So love and miss you, Ashley. But she is so sweet and sends me cards. So I had to put that in there. I marked some Happy Meal. It was Independent Bookstore Day. So we went to our indie bookstore, and they have a chalk wall, and somebody had written, "Have a fantastic weekend." So we took a picture of Milo in front of it. He was doing some crafts that they had. So that was cool to go check that out. On Sunday, we went to the mall. We sometimes just go there to walk around and get out of the house, especially if it's kind of a rainy day. We tried to get Milo to ride the little like quarter machines, but this was the second time we had tried to. He liked it more, but he just is a little unsure of them. They are a little loud. They move, so, but he had this strawberry sweatshirt on. It was actually like a 2-piece, It's one of my favorite little outfits he ever wore. And so I just decorated this page with some strawberry pink kind of decorations. And then on the 28th, I don't think I really had anything to post about, or I'm sorry, to write about. But I took a picture with my pin I got on Indie Bookstore Day that says Read Local. I posted this on my Instagram, so I just put that in here, and then I made a list of the books on my TBR that I want to start soon. So I have a ton of physical books sitting around, especially because I go to a used bookstore. I will pick them up when I see them. But these are just some of the books that I wanted to prioritize. So The God in the Woods, Deep End, Demon Copperhead, The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, Babel, Our Infinite Fates, The Nickel Boys, Blue Sisters, Broken Country, The Names, and Clara and the Sun. And I have actually read The God in the Woods and Broken Country, which I think both, I know Broken Country was a 5-star. The God of the Woods, I think, was a 5-star, but it might have been a 4-star. And then I've started Babel. It's just kind of slow, and I've only been reading, it's a long chapters too, so I don't always get a chapter in before I go to bed because I only read like right before I go to sleep. And then on the 29th, also didn't have much to write about, so I used that same sticker book, found this quote, says, I know not all that may be coming, but be it what it will, I'll go to it laughing, which is from Moby Dick. So I just put that in and then decorated with a floral sticker and some washi tape. On the 30th, I actually got a kind of promotion at work. So we announced my new position at our student affairs meeting that we have with all our other departments. And so that felt good. One of our clubs had a table and event, their random acts of kindness. And they had these origami hearts. So one of them gave me that. So I just put it in here. And then I just kind of did a yellow themed. Milo was enjoying being on our porch and running back and forth. I think we were doing bubbles. But there was a trend on TikTok where people were, calling, important people or their pets, they're yellow, just because it's bright, it's sunny. So I wrote my yellow. Milo's definitely a bright little joy in my life. And then this is how he used to give thumbs up. He couldn't quite get his fingers in, so we took a picture of that and I put that in there, and I just love it. And then that's the end of April, and we're on to May. So, oh, and I forgot, I just skipped right to the dailies, I guess. So let's do this backwards, and see what we've got in our cry log. So April, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 cries in April. There was a Rugrats TikTok about Chucky's mom, a baby penguin. I'm not sure. There was a very sad documentary we watched a couple years ago, my husband and I, where penguins were traveling across glaciers and ice and everything. And there was this hill that they had to climb, and all of these baby penguins could not make it up the hill. And it still will make me emotional if I really think about it, about one baby penguin that couldn't get up with his mama. And yeah, so I'm not sure if that was a different video or if we just started talking about the baby penguin. And then also on the 9th, wanting to hold Milo, newborn Milo again. And then was something that happened in A Little Life made me cry. Oh, maybe there's more than 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, maybe. I guess I'm good. Matt and I got in an argument, and I am a crier when I'm frustrated or angry or upset, and easy crier. Game changer. Don't Cry episode made me cry. A Little Life again. And then thinking about losing my parents made me cry. Of course. And then for April, I absolutely loved this monthly theme. So I found these, I had these butterfly stickers and I love the colors of them, and pulled this green washi tape that I had. And then I pulled the colors from the butterflies. So I chose this bright pink, this orange, and this lavender, lilac kind of color. And I absolutely love how this one turned out. So again, just doing the glimmers and quick recaps. Not every day is positive, but this actually, I think, is a pretty positive month. And especially with the colors, how could it not be? So I absolutely loved how this spread turned out. And then for my weeks, this is the first full week of April. So yeah, so we're still doing this where I picked the random 6 colors of my markers and doing a report. So in reading, I read Sociopath, which is a memoir, which I don't rate. Only If You're Lucky, I started, and then A Little Life. I was eating stuffed shells that I made or that my parents brought us, grilled chicken, and then I was obsessed with the pink slush Alani's. Playing Maroon 5, I just discovered them again, some of their older stuff. I used to love Songs About Jane. I had that on CD. So I just started listening to them again. And then we were watching Ted Lasso, obsessing about how overwhelming life is. And again, the pink slush Alani's. Recommending buying fresh flowers. I think I bought some of those at Trader Joe's when I went. Recommending Ted Lasso, and also going to bed early. And then I was treating Milo's ears after his tube surgery. For the second week of April, I was still reading Only If You're Lucky and A Little Life, eating Chipotle and pizza logs. I love pizza logs at work. I don't get them a lot, but I do love them. Playing, we were watching Ted Lasso, Jeopardy, and then I was playing a lot of Vitamin String Quartet for Milo and I. Obsessing about how to balance life and not feel exhausted and let down all the time. Recommending making your kid his own playlist that doesn't change your taste profile. And then treating Milo's ears still, a rough week, and a lot of emotions. And for the third week, I finished Only If You're Lucky. I only gave it 2 stars, was not my favorite. And then still reading A Little Life. It literally took me all month to read this. I was doing a group buddy read of it, and so they had I set how many pages a day I needed to read to finish it. Eating mashed potato bowls, also at work, also a favorite. Tried a new recipe, sausage and tortellini with peppers and onions, which I think was pretty good. And then I had the best quesadilla at work as well. So a lot of eating at school, apparently. And then playing Ted Lasso, Jeopardy, art games. I don't know what art games were. Listening to the So True podcast and playing with bubbles with Milo. Obsessing over being creative. I was starting to really feel that, especially with doing the art activity with the elementary school kids. I had gotten I really gotten into a flow with my Hobonichi weeks, so I was really loving that. Making to-do lists, and then I don't know what TikTok likes picking. Oh, I am posting plan with me's for my Hobonichi weeks on my TikTok, and so my likes were picking up. I was getting a lot more traffic on some of my videos, which was cool. And then recommending spending time with family, and because we spent Easter with everybody, and then treating burnout and frustration. And then the last week of April, I finished A Little Life. Like I said, gave it 3 stars. Damn, it's long. And I started reading The 7-Year Slip, eating our Easter bread and sausage, hot dogs and potato salad, which I made homemade, playing Game Changer, If you don't watch Dropout TV, I recommend it. It's hilarious. Ted Lasso, Jeopardy, and then I was watching Love on the Spectrum. And I decorated a little bit on this week. Obsessing about why the house is never clean. Still have that issue. Recommending drinking water every now and then. Working on that as well. Treating, broken about losing the house. So we did not get that house that I was manifesting about. And then we had a celebration dinner. Matt and I went to Outback Steakhouse because I really wanted a bloomin' onion to celebrate my promotion at work. And then this is the last week of April, first week of May. This was inspired by Danny, who I follow on Instagram. This was how she was using her Hobonichi cousin, marking, choosing colors for different things to track. So meals, appointments, spending money, what you were watching, like media, reading, and then daily chores and weekly chores. So this was fun to play around with. It's the only week I did it. I really like the color, and I chose different colors than her. I liked putting in the money piece of it, but it just wasn't super for me. Like I said, I'm not going to put work stuff in, and but I might do something like this. I have 2 cousins for next year, so one is more for like me and my stuff, and then the other is for like memory keeping and creativeness. So I might do this in the one for me. Still playing around with what that'll look like. So yeah, that's the end of April. I'm gonna check these other extra spreads here at the end. And then I think that'll be done. Where do those start? Oh. Are they at the... Yes. Songs in my head. April, we had a lot. We had 1, 2, I'll just read them. Up Around the Bend by CCR. For some reason, this song came into my head when I was waking up or going to sleep. Whatever. A good song, though. Payphone by Maroon 5. So like I mentioned, I started listening to Maroon 5 again. What's Your Name, which is a super simple song that Milo listens to. Hello, Hello, which is also a super simple song. Diet Pepsi by Addison Rae. Guilty Pleasure song. So that was stuck in my head. Le Poisson Steve, which was a hit on TikTok. Definitely was in my head a lot. C'est la vie by Bewitched. Tell Me Ernest from Death Becomes Her. That was becoming popular on TikTok. Death Becomes Her is May. Sorry. So, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 songs in April that I tracked. So... And then my wish list again that doesn't have dates. So that's April. Thanks for checking it out. Hopefully I'll get a video more frequently up here, or at least more consistently now that I'm getting over my cold. But I appreciate everybody that has taken the time to follow me and who feels like checking out my journals. I really appreciate you liking and subscribing and sharing these videos. So I'll see you next time for May.